Ladies and gentlemen, SuckItUpUSA.com presents Suck It Up MMA Live. No excuses, no quit. With your hosts, positioned firmly in front of the control board, and out of the red corner, Tom McManus! Across the desk, and out of the blue corner, Larry the Professor Sheely!
All right, let's get to our guest today, fighting out of Freestyle Fighting Academy in Miami under, of course, Marcos Avalon. We've had him on the show on MMA Live. It's Shah Bobonis, who I'm seeing here is 12-7, fights at the 144 class. He joins us now at Tom McManus Uncensored.
He's won 8 of his last 10 fights.
What's that?
He's won 8 out of his last 10
fights.
fights.
Oh, nice.
So
He's on the rise.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Shah Bobonis, welcome to Tom McManus Uncensored with Professor Larry Sheely and Tom McManus. How you doing there, man?
Very good. Thank you guys for having me on.
Man, it's great to have you on. Appreciate that. Winner of 8 out of your last 10, Shah. That's fantastic, man. What do you attribute that to?
Well, actually, it is 8 out of the last 10, but SureDog doesn't have my correct record. It's MMA.tv, the official
we got a quick SureDog
database. Yeah, SureDog's messed up. Yeah, MMA.tv has my official record is 13-6.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I definitely, about 2 years ago, I started training full time, and it got to a point where I started fighting guys that were fighting full time, and it wasn't a fair fight if you're trying to work 40 hours a week, sometimes 50 hours a week, and then trying to fight guys that are training twice a day. It's a tough task to try to keep up with those guys.
How long you been in the fight game, Shah, and how did you get started?
I've been training since 2006. I turned pro in 2007. Before that, I did a little bit of amateur boxing. And really, I used to play baseball, and I was at a boxing gym, and I ran into Jorge Masvidal, who at the time was training at the Freestyle Fighting Academy. And I went to go watch one of his fights, and then the next time I saw him at the boxing gym, I was like, "Hey, man, your fight was great. I really enjoyed it." And he's like, "Hey, if you like MMA, come try it out." So I went by the gym, tried out MMA, and fell in love with it.
And was that when you say the gym, you're talking about the Freestyle Fighting Academy? Is that yeah. So that's when you hooked up with Marcos then. Marcos and David?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Marcos and David were there. And at the time, Charles McCarthy was there as well.
Right.
Ariel Gandula, who fought for the WEC belt at one point. Cole Miller was in and out of there because he was under Charles.
Right.
And they're from Atlanta.
Right.
Or Georgia area.
Right.
And, we had a bunch of guys always coming in and out of there. So it was always a great place to train.
Well, Shah, let me ask you this. What are you training for now? You got any fights coming up in the near future? What do you got coming up?
Yes. June 8th, I'll be in Mexico fighting for a 135-pound belt for an organization, Combate Extremo. They're the longest running and biggest organization in Mexico. I fought for them now 4 times.
Right.
I have the 145-pound belt. And then July 14th, I fight Aaron Williams. He's a seasoned veteran. He's 22-15.
Right.
And that'll be July 14th in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Hey, Shah, you're 33 years of age?
Yeah, I'm getting up there now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, depending on the sport, what you're into, 33 can be looked at different ways. But do you ever look at like, man, I got a window till about 40, I got a window till about 38? I mean, do you ever think in those terms? I know as a former football player, you always thought like, man, I only got 3 years left, or I only got 2 years, or whatever the case may be. Does that go through your mind in the fight game?
Not as much. I feel like, especially in amateur, in boxing, sports like football, when guys have been playing these sports that are really tough on your body since a very early age, then I think that your body tends to break down a little bit earlier. But if you look at guys who come into the fight game a little bit later on in life, they usually last a little bit longer because they don't have 200 amateur boxing matches, or they haven't been playing football since the age of Pop Warner football, and they haven't been taking those hits all their lives. So in that sense, I've always I haven't been very injury prone. I've never had a serious injury. Maybe because my body hasn't worn down as much. Maybe because I haven't taken as much of a beating over the course of another 10 years, let's say, that I didn't do amateur boxing.
That makes total sense, Shaw. So you're kind of 33, but you're as a fighter, you haven't been to the wars. You're in good shape. You're young, 33 for the fight game. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So
yeah, exactly. And I don't drink that much. I don't stay out late anymore. And
wait a minute,
like that.
Drink that much.
In moderation, Shaw. In moderation. Well, I'm seeing in your victories here, you have KOs, you have TKOs, doctor stoppage, submissions. Sounds like you're a very well-rounded fighter. How would you describe yourself as an MMAer?
Well, before I started doing MMA, I started doing boxing. My dad was a lifetime boxing fan, so I was a huge boxing fan. And I came into MMA with some decent boxing, probably better than average, and then and a little bit of wrestling, because I wrestled a little bit of junior high and in high school. So I would rely on sprawling guys out and just knocking people out. But I started losing fights because of my grappling, and I put the striking on the back burner and started using my grappling. So now I feel like I can do a little bit of everything.
Well, that's fantastic, man. We want to thank you for joining us here, Shaw. We want to wish you the best of luck. Larry introduced me to the world of MMA, man, and I'm totally in. You guys are badasses. It's mano a mano. It's either you or you're either winning or losing. You stand for so much. You live the credo of the lifestyle brand I created. Suck it up, join the movement. No excuses, no quit. Keep up the good work, man. Sounds like you're a humble guy as well, and just ready to go to work and continue that career. So best of luck to you, bro.
All right, thank you guys again for having me on. Thank you very much.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, that was great. Nice job. Shah Bobonis.
This has been a production of SuckItUpUSA.com and EIGProductions.com. Heard exclusively on the Suck It Up Radio Network.